Greetings once again, brothers and sisters. I come to you right now in the most precious name of our Father, bringing you another word straight from the throne of grace. So I was spending time with the Father, and all of a sudden he shifted me into a vision realm. And in this realm, I saw the state of California. I saw people in the state of California. They were in their homes. Many were handicapped. They were not able to move from in front of their televisions. Many were sitting around in their yards, just staring off into the sky, looking into space. Some were laying on their beds. It just seemed like a stillness. The once social communication that used to be in the land of California was no longer there. It was a stillness. It was a stiffness in the air and in the people. And what I saw was an eye. And I began to zone in on the eye because I can see the people through this eye. And the eye had scales over the eye. And as I began to step back a little further, I realized that the people also have scales on their eyes. And then I looked for an ear, but there was no ear. But I saw scales over the people's ears. So as I began to look further and study this eye, what I was seeing, I began to see veins running through this eye. And this eye began to blink subtly. And as I began to look closer, I stepped back further to realize that it was a serpent. As I began to look further, I realized that the people that are in California have been swallowed by a serpent. They have been swallowed by a serpent that is seeing for them and that is hearing for them. This serpent shows them visuals of things that the serpent wants them to perceive, to see. But it's an illusion. It's not real. It's not there. They're not seeing reality for what it is. And they can't hear because the serpent has no ears. So it makes decisions for them. Within this serpent, I saw people tight. They were sucked in. Their minds were poisoned like the blood of the venom of a snake. And they could not make decisions for themselves. Many of them proceeded to cry out to God, but their cries were shallow. Their cries were breathless, without life. Even their once cries that used to run down their faces are now dry. I also began to pray for these people and to ask God what it is that He was showing me. And God shared with me that these are the people who are stuck. They're left behind. They're in a trance. They went after their own vile imaginations, their own heart's desires. They chased the material things of this world. They chased after other gods and people of this world. They made their friends their God, their homes their God, their cars their God, money their God. They made so many other things their God, all while calling upon a living God whenever they got a chance to, whenever they felt like it. But they did it so much that the Father allowed their hearts to wax cold. For it is written, I neither you are hot nor cold, or I will spew you out of my mouth, saith the Lord. Many of these people, they've heard the warning to get out of California, but they can't move. They're trapped. They're stuck. They're swallowed by a serpent. They're still, like when a serpent, have you ever seen a serpent swallow a whole body and that person wants their spit out? It's like they've been wrapped in a web, except they're stuck in this venom of slime that has poisoned their body, poisoned their mind, put scales of their eyes, deafened their ears. Many of them are dealing with health conditions. A lot of them are going in and out of the doctors with the caduceus on the staff. They've been poisoned, is what I'm seeing in the spirit. Now, the Father went on even further to share with me that a lot of these people, not only did they hear the call and the warning to come out of California, but because they did not move when God told them to move, they're now stuck. They can't leave. They don't have the funds to leave. They don't have the strength to leave. They don't have the prayer to leave. What I also heard the Father say is that many of their family members heard the warning, even if they did not hear the warning. And if the Father told one of their family members to tell them that the flood was coming up on the land, many of them maybe have mentioned it, but it was lackadaisical. It was nonchalant. Then they let it go. Many didn't mention it at all. But I heard the Spirit of the Lord say that when the flood comes upon the lands of California and overtake the people there, it will surely consume their lives. And just as surely as the Father warned the watchman to warn if he sees the flood come upon the land and he does not warn, that their blood will be on their hands. So the Father is saying, many of you, you've warned. You've tried to warn family. You've tried to warn friends. You've done everything that you can to blow the trumpet, to cry aloud, to spare not. And for you, he is well pleased in, and great is your reward in heaven. But for those who he showed the warning to, they didn't tell their family members. They were lackadaisical and nonchalant about warning them. They didn't make it an urgent cry within their soul to plead with them to get out of there as if it was their own life. The Father said that surely as the flood comes upon the lands in California and overtakes the lands of California to destroy it, the people who heard the warning, that had family members there or even had a chance to warn but didn't, there will also be a flood that comes upon their lives and overtakes them, no matter where they are in the world. And they will also be consumed by the floods in their own life, equal to that of the floods in the lives of those who got trapped in California. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken.